Okay, so hi Olivia.
Hi there.
This is our, I don't know, we're on about our fourth or fifth talk now, the
hmm
second one today. And, it's great to have a live event illustrator because we're seeing live event illustration growing massively.
Mm,
And it's so good to see, how I guess live events are really changing the landscape of fashion illustration, drawing.
hmm
It's created a whole new ecosystem for
hmm
artists, creatives. Live events has really, I think, boomed in the last 2 years, and I guess you're
hmm
reaping some of the rewards, which is nice.
Thank you.
A different side to people doing editorial work or magazine work or illustration for books. So this is a whole new space. So I'm just going to share my screen with you,
hmm
and let me just open up your PDF. Let's just share this, and hopefully you can see yourself.
I
In,
also have my MacBook here right now. Also have my PDF put up, so I have both screens. So yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess before we start, what would be
hmm
really nice is give us an entry into your world, to your
hmm
work, what you do, your experience, and your journey to where you are now.
hmm So right now I am based in London. I'm originally from Hong Kong. I was born and raised there. I've always been, passionate about drawing ever since I was a little kid, to be honest. And during uni, I actually picked graphic design instead of fine art or illustration because I thought at the time that was the safest option for me. And then when I first came here in London to London in 2015, I was offered a job position working in a textile print studio. So that was sort of my first exposure to the sort of fashion field. So I started thinking, why not combine both, my passion for drawing faces, drawing beautiful people, and fashion together, because I was also interested in fashion and seeing the possibilities of working in the fashion field. Um, that just opened my mind basically. So slowly I started, tipping my toes into the fashion world per se. Yeah.
And I guess, I've seen your work for a little while and you've been in one of our books, which is fantastic. And, we have really tried to um, create a place or a dialogue for artists, illustrators. That's our goal. And doing things
Mhm.
like this is to raise awareness for, I'd say, fashion illustrators, because there is sort of
Mm,
platforms for illustrators, but fashion illustrators, I know, are sort of in the middle of being an artist and a person who
mhm,
loves fashion and also has all the skills of someone who draws like an
mhm.
illustrator. So they have a sort of a mishmash of skills,
Definitely.
and they can kind of work in lots of disciplines, like you were talking about graphics. They have all
Mhm.
these, they're multidisciplinary people. So I
Right.
think you're kind of showing that skill. So I guess what would be, let's move on a slide, because then we
Mhm,
kind of, this is a little bit about you, about
mhm,
brands that you kind of have worked for, and seeing your work, how it changes, how you have this sort of wide spectrum of uh, image making that looks sort of a combination of digital meets hybrid
mhm,
analog, which I guess a
mhm,
lot of illustrators are trying to create. Uh,
mhm.
what medium would you say you work mostly when you're not live illustrating?
I would say a mixture of digital media and traditional media, because I feel like even if I work completely digitally, I still would love to retain that traditional um, analog, like you said, analog and organic feel to the piece of drawing illustration. Because I feel like if it looks completely digital or very just very like computer graphics, it's not as interesting to me. That's how I feel. So even if I work completely digitally, I still want to bring that into the illustration. But that being said, I love the flexibility and the convenience of working digitally. So I would say right now is a bit of a mixture of both.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and have you moved anywhere into animation as well?
Um, I wouldn't say animation, but I would definitely love to create more sort of like moving images.
Right.
Yeah.
And recently, we posted someone who did some drawings and used AI to animate their work. I don't know if you saw it,
Mm,
but what, because we have this big issue at the moment with AI.
yeah.
Um, do you think it's a problem to you, or you think it could be something that you could use as a tool?
Um, for now, I haven't really experimented that much with AI myself. Am I against it? I would say if a piece of work is completely generated from scratch by AI, meaning that could involve taking bits of bobs of different elements from different artists, then I am against that.
Yeah.
I feel like that is basically copyright infringement, plagiarism, all that kind of stuff. But if if say if we use the AI to sort of brainstorm ideas, I'm not that against it, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And if it could animate your illustrations for you, you'd be happy for it to get on with it and chug away.
I'm not sure what the um, technical side would be involved. I'm not sure with the I'm not familiar with the process of that, so I need to look into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Because
I would feel really bad if my animation ends up having actually having other elements of existing artists' works. I would
yeah,
feel really bad.
yeah, yeah. But it was just recently someone did something,
Mm-hmm.
and all it did was animate a complete part of their work. It didn't add
Uh-huh.
anything else. It can add
Ah.
video. It can convert your drawings into video. They can move
Oh,
and things like that.
I think I've seen something like that on social media. I think I've
Yes,
seen that. It does look very interesting. I didn't know that was AI though.
that's AI.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
we
really
shared it the
interesting.
other day, and it was amazing to see how she kind of moved between 2D digital
Mm-hmm.
to doing the whole thing animated in, it was either in Mid-Journey or one of the AI softwares, but it was amazing to see,
Oh,
and we were
wow.
sharing it because everybody's been fighting about AI. But I
Yeah,
guess the good news is AI can't do live events
exactly.
at the moment.
At
So
the moment.
moving forwards,
Uh-huh.
um, I guess, it was quite nice. You posted up quite a lot of little pieces. So
Mhm.
uh, go through your first experience of doing a live event and how
Mhm.
you made that happen to how you get continued live event jobs.
So I am still very new to live events. I think I started just a bit over a year ago. And I was actually first approached by an agency, my first live event gig. And I was pleasantly surprised because I've been just posting my work on Instagram and different social media platforms, and then the agent found me on Instagram, I believe, and it was a pretty straightforward like process. They reached out to me and they were like, "Oh, really like your work, and we have this event, da 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 da." and it happened really fast. And then from then on, I just started having more and more requests and inquiries about my live events. And I was actually why did I say I was surprised? Because I kept hearing people saying, "Oh, Instagram is dead. It's not, you don't really gain followers no more. You don't really get, people's attention span is really short these days." And but then I realized clients, agencies, creative people still look for artists and illustrators on Instagram. And so that was very encouraging to me. So I just kept posting more often, trying to be um, more consistent with my posting. So that's how I started getting more inquiries from clients, basically. Um, and also, I started posting more on LinkedIn, and just try to. I've been trying to connect with more people, um, find the right people to follow, find the right people to connect with, and not just connect, not just add them, but be very intentional about it. Oh, I always introduce myself, who I am, where I'm based, and what I do, and hopefully people would reply, and just go from there. That's how I find my clients mostly these days.
Good. And what is your, because sometimes we're asked, can they achieve this in a certain amount of time?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any sort of like logistical rules that you kind of set? Because someone might say, I see, oh, I can do a drawing in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Or, we were asked when we did a YouTube event, oh, how many images are going to be drawn in an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Do they all ask the same questions, or is there?
More or less, yes. They usually ask, "Oh, how many clients can you draw during per hour?" And I usually aim for 10 to 15 minutes. So 10 minutes for one guest, and then 15 minutes for a couple. Um, I I enjoy drawing faces, so naturally I sort of take longer doing that. But I'm trying to sort of speed up the process. Well, not necessarily speed up the process, but I need to be very intentional. I need to select what details to include and try to simplify my artwork a little bit while still, keep it interesting.
And because we see with like we have Connie and we have all these other illustrators who we do live events. How do
Mm-hmm.
you keep yourself? Because obviously, if you're doing live events, what do you do to practice? Like, do you go to life drawing or do you use magazines or how do you work?
Yeah, I do both. I actually need to do more figure drawing sessions, to be honest. But I love doing those as well. Like you said, figure drawing sessions, whether it be online or offline. I just recently found this group. I forgot what it's called, but they do, I think, weekly um, portrait session. Basically, they meet up at a certain place, and then they ask just strangers and artists together, and the artists would draw the non-artists per se, and then artists get to practice it that way. And I think it's a really really cool idea. And that's what's interesting about living in London, I think, also, by the way. And then I also collect images on Pinterest and social media, and like keep a folder of interesting street looks or runway looks that I can go back to and draw that later on. So
And
that's how I practice basically.
and because we hear about nightmare stories for live events, what would be a really bad happening at
Uh-huh.
a live event that you could, or have you had, has it all been good for you so far?
So far, I've been lucky. I haven't really had any bad experience, um, per se. So, what's the story that you heard?
Well, I heard,
I'm curious.
well, I don't, I remember, well, I'll tell you one that happened to me
Uh-huh.
was I was drawing at an event. This was before live events really became a thing. This
Hmm.
must have been 15 years ago.
Oh,
So you
wow.
imagine live events probably wasn't really a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the event and we had all these, and I brought Indian ink
Uh-huh.
an ink pen with me. Now, if you
Uh-huh.
were advising anyone, do not bring ink or things that stain. And
Right.
the people were all drunk.
Oh,
The
no.
ink went over me,
Oh,
all the
no.
drawings. And because it's Indian ink, it's like the worst ink in the world. And it
Oh,
was everywhere. I was covered. And because it doesn't even wash off really until a week, my hands were black. And I just was like, and that was my very first live event.
oh my God.
And the lady running it said to me, "Oh, we're doing something at Selfridges and Debenhams, and we do lots of events." I said, "No, never, never. I'm done." And I never did it again
Really? Oh my
because
God.
it was so, and that was many years ago. And I think live events kind of kicked up. I've done live drawing events where I haven't really got paid, but this one I went to, and it was like the most horrific experience. Everyone loved the drawings and they loved what the outcomes were. And
Hmm.
the other thing that we've heard from some members is when they've charged for the artwork. So, say if it was a hotel or
Hmm.
a company, and you go in there, but you charge people, the feedback
Mm.
was that doesn't look like, when people get it for free, it's a gift and they kind of enjoy it. But when you have
Hmm.
to charge a customer, then the
Hmm.
customer gets a little bit tough.
Right.
Have you ever had to charge a customer, or it's all just paid and it's free, give it away?
Yeah, the latter. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you imagine if you had to say, oh, that's £25 or
Yeah.
30, and then they're like, well, that doesn't look like me, and critical feedback increases by 1,000%. And I remember her saying, I've had so many really bad experiences. I don't know if I can do this again. And the feedback is really work for commissioned events where the art's free and it's a gift.
Hmm.
And the customers aren't so angry. I think she said everyone was angry and wanted their money back. So it was a
Oh
very
my God.
hard experience. And I guess this is a Coco Crush event for Chanel, and
Hmm.
a really nice event. So what, in a different matter, what is the best? Because I think working in live events is almost
Hmm.
like being treated like a celebrity, because you
Mm.
go in, you get looked after, you're center stage. Does it?
Hmm.
I feel that that's the experience of what I can see from the live event illustration world. Is it like that? What do you think?
Maybe because I'm still very new to this, I haven't really been treated like a superstar just yet. But usually people are really nice to me. Like whenever I go to a shop or, to an event, they're always like, "Oh, what do you need? Do you need water? Do you need any drink?" They're very accommodating and yeah, so it's been really pleasant so far. And luckily I haven't had any angry customer per se. Touch wood.
And have you had any so once one evening happens, has anything magical happened from that, like a big commission or other new opportunities, or like what's the best sort of opportunities that have come from a live event experience?
So actually in my last event, I met these two really lovely ladies who were stylists for the event of the day, and they were so impressed with my work. and they were like, "We will be in touch with you. Like, we want you to be on board with other events with other clients as well." So, and we exchange content and whatnot, and that was just really really nice to hear to know that your work is being appreciated by other people, other artists, and I might get more clients from there that way. So it was really nice.
And I guess the other benefit, we were talking to another person the other day about networking, is at
Mm,
live events is the best opportunity. You're being paid to network.
mm-hmm.
So you must be networking all night.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. A lot of times people would be like, "Oh, do you do weddings as well? Do you do private parties and whatnot?" So I agree, definitely. It's a really good opportunity to network with, people of all sorts of works. Yeah.
And when for example, if I came to one of the events that you're at, do you give out business cards, or how do you promote yourself at a
Yeah,
live event?
yeah, I usually bring my business cards with me. Even when I'm with an agent and you're not really supposed to promote yourself because you're repping the agent, you're not repping yourself per se. I still bring my card either way. I just won't put it out there on the desk, but I'll keep it with me. And if someone is interested in what I do, I just give them out, give my
Yeah,
card. Yeah.
yeah, good. And like you've got some really cool styles. So how are you working? Like here, we're just looking at this
Hmm.
one at the Shard. So look, that's a great experience. You've gone to the Shangri-La, the Shard,
Hmm.
illustrating there. That's a luxury experience, no?
Oh yeah. So it was really cool. That day it was really, really cloudy and foggy, and I got up there and basically it was being like in castle in the sky or something. um, for my practice during live events, I usually start with um, watercolor and then some details. I add some details with color pencils, and then I would add a little bit of colors. I don't normally have enough time to do full on colors, but I just add a little bit of color, like you can see here, and then I like to add a little bit of accent in the end with my ink brush pen. I love doing
Yeah.
that. And for this event, I was requested to do some Chinese writing. So I did that, and that was pretty cool too.
No, they're really good and really fast. They feel quite spontaneous,
Hmm.
and they're so cool. And we've been
Thank
looking
you.
at your work for a while. And then
Hmm.
I guess on the other side of it is, you're doing this portrait work.
Hmm.
Yes, are you doing portrait work where you could work on canvas as well, or is it mainly just paper and screens?
It's mainly paper and digitally. Before, I used to do my digital work in Photoshop, but ever since the iPad and the Procreate was created, I've pretty much switched to that. I find it more hands-on per se, to draw on the iPad, and it's really convenient. It's a really really good tool to use. Yeah.
We got some lovely drawings,
Thank you.
and if you were to think about a commission that you would like to do,
Hmm.
yeah, because this is the work I'm familiar with, this digital illustration here. And what sort of work are you aiming towards? You're doing live events, but what commissions would you really love? We see lots of illustrators out there and artists. What work are you hoping to get?
I would love to work with maybe fashion. I mean, beauty brands on packaging, and maybe also some editorial work. That's what I would like to start doing as well.
And have you considered how you could pitch for that, or are you leaving that down to an agent, or what's your
Um,
thought process?
yes, I would like to get an agent in the long run. Right now, I think I need to sort of build more, sort of add more different variety of work to my portfolio, and start pitching to agents. I think
Yeah,
that's my next step. Yeah.
and I think this might be the last one, but I guess it'd be really interesting to see how this work will evolve and
Mhm.
how we could kind of think about it, packaging, makeup, beauty brands, Mac, uh,
Mhm.
you know, Essie. There's so many brands that I can imagine you sort of aligning with, and it's really just picking out who are these businesses and kind of finding that little niche market. Because I can really imagine, like, I
Mm.
really think the beauty industry should embrace illustration more because of portraiture, art and creativity, and they kind
Mhm.
of they work well together. And I know lots of illustrators who've worked with many sorts of brands regarding beauty, and I feel there's a real space for this now. And
Yeah.
and and we saw Harvey Nichols has just done a really nice advert with fashion illustration.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw Jackie Blue, and I think it's going to get big again, even though,
Mhm.
we see it going big and big and small and big and small. But I feel that there's a real, because of Instagram and the love of drawing and too much digital and too much I think it will really work in the hands of people that draw and people
Mhm.
who have that craftsmanship. And I feel
Mhm.
there's going to be a real desire for it. So, you know, a great piece of work. And, we were lucky to capture you and get you to join us
Thank
here
you for
tonight.
having me.
And it's great to hear about your work and also like follow your journey because you're still quite new.
Yeah.
I would say, I've
Yeah.
done 25, nearly 30 years. So
Mhm.
I'm much longer, but I can see your sort of change and your growth. But I personally, it'd be lovely to see more of your work in advertising, commercial work, as you said, beauty,
Mhm.
and the agents will come. The agent comes in the long run, but I think I wouldn't worry about an agent too much. I think
Okay.
you have enough knowledge and brains to communicate with people to then go, I'd love to use this. We did a talk yesterday with an agent, and
Mhm.
one of the things she was saying was about sometimes when you work with clients is suggesting ideas to them to make
Mm.
them think, yeah, I never thought of that. Oh, my illustrations could work on packaging. So you're kind of helping mold them. That is what an age, she was saying, as an agent,
Mhm.
we try and help almost curate in the minds of the buyer or the company. This could happen. And sometimes they never think about that. Like it's amazing. You
Mm.
think an art director would have thought about everything where said,
Right.
this would be really nice in animation, or this would really work nice on packaging, and I could really imagine this on paper. Even though in your back of your mind you're
Yeah.
triggering ideas all the time, and I think that's a really good string to your bow. So anyway, we keep these short so everyone
Mhm.
stays happy and lively. But Olivia, firstly, it's great to see your work blossom. It's great
Thank
to
you.
see you on here and you giving me some time. And it's also, brilliant to see you getting into live events and, really pushing it. So keep
Mhm.
going,
Thank you. I will. Thank you
keep
for having
pushing,
me
and
today, Patrick. I really enjoyed this talk so far. Yeah, thank you for having me today.
excellent.
And
Thank you so
hopefully
much
we will meet in,
in
real life
person.
sometime. Yeah.
Well, if you ever are near, because we're at Fashion Week this week, we've got Fashion Scout. It'd be great to see you. We had a few people drawing at the casting today. So if you ever want to come along, let me know.
I would love
Uh,
that actually.
and you can join and do a bit of drawing there and a bit of live event stuff. So it'd be lovely. Let me
Yeah, I
know.
would love that. I would love that. Which day is that?
So today was the casting, and then tomorrow and Friday we've got some live event stuff. So let me know, and I'll try
Hmm.
and see what spaces we have.
Okay, lovely. I would love
Good.
that. I'll
Olivia,
check you again on LinkedIn and
yes, let
social
me
media.
know. Brilliant. And we'll speak soon. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Olivia.
thank you
Have
so
a
much.
good night.
Good
Thank you.
evening.
Bye
Bye.
bye.